They played great. Played Raven standard football. I feel like we should have had them out a little bit more, but they got it done. Room for improvement.
How much kind of confidence does that give you when things maybe are up and down offensively, and then but you kind of rely on the defense to do what it did today?
A lot of confidence, but I have even more if we was putting points on the board like we should. Well, hats off to our defense because they played a wonderful game.
Lamar, what does it mean going forward to be able to handle this kind of environment? Really, only have one pre-snap penalty and not turn the ball over. What do you think was the key to that?
Just practicing hard. Trying to get better in practice. It starts in practice, and it translates to the field. On Sundays and Mondays, whenever we play. But yeah, I'm gonna get on Voorhees about that.
Yo, what's going on? It's Keith from Black Quarterback Series, and today I think y'all know by the thumbnail, the name of the video. Y'all already know what's going on. Talking about Baltimore Ravens again for the first time in a few weeks. Let's talk about it. So, my name is Keith. I do Black Quarterback Series, and we're gonna talk about the Ravens winning their third straight game. So, winning is winning. It's just what they did. I don't know if they really won the game, so to speak, whether it's like they took advantage of all of Minnesota's mistakes. Like, Minnesota had 9 false starts at home, 103 penalty yards, and I think JJ threw 3 interceptions. I think the Ravens at one point were 2-9 and 2-9 on third down, and they still won the game pretty handily. So I wouldn't say that the Ravens really took it to them, as I'm unlocking my phone. I wouldn't say too much that the Ravens took it to them, as well as they just capitalized off Minnesota's mistakes. They capitalized off Minnesota's mistakes and did what they had to do in order to win the game. Now, as I look for the team stats, so yeah, Baltimore ended up being 3 for 15 on third down efficiency, but the Vikings were 3 of 14 on third down. So it was bad. So 3 turnovers. They had 3 turnovers, fumble lost, and 2 interception thrown. I don't think this is right. They had 2. Well, he had 2 fumbles on kick return. He had 2 fumbles. So essentially, 4 turnovers, so to speak. And so it's not like Baltimore set the world on fire. They only had, let's just get into Lamar Jackson's numbers. So Lamar Jackson was 17 for 29, 176 yards on a touchdown. And he was 9 carries, 36 yards, no touchdowns. I'm sorry, I'm a little under the weather, so my head a little spacey. But, so it's not like nobody did anything special, but JJ had a rookie game. 20 for 42, 248 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Him and Justin Jefferson are not on the same page right now. There are a lot of passes that JJ forced to JJ, and it's just they're not on the same synergy. And you could tell that throughout the whole game. Because there was a chance there, even towards the end, when they started to hardball it. And we're going to get to Harbaugh in a minute. Well, I still think he should be fired. But they was trying to give the game away. Baltimore was trying to give the game away. But that defense showed up. This is probably the most complete game by the Baltimore Ravens all year. I'm talking about the offense did just enough, and they kind of had a mini explosion in the second half to get that lead, and the defense was able to hold them down just enough to where they didn't ultimately give up the lead and lose. So shout out to the Baltimore Ravens. They played really well today. Everybody knows this was my Super Bowl pick: Baltimore versus Minnesota in the Super Bowl. Now, do I think either team is gonna make it? We will revisit this in December. I think both teams make the playoffs, and I'll tell you why. The Steelers lost. KC, I think, is 5-4, and Josh Allen lost. So all the teams that needed to lose or not have good seasons are not having good seasons. The Baltimore Ravens sit at 4-5, second in the division, and they play Cleveland, and they play Cleveland at one point. I'm gonna put their schedule up. The next 4 or 5 games for the Baltimore Ravens will be sitting up. So with these games that they're playing, they're not playing any like real stiff competition. I think they're playing Chicago in here somewhere if they haven't played Chicago already. So if you see me looking over, I'm looking at the Monday night game. They haven't played any. They're not going to play any comp, right? There's a chance that Baltimore is hosting a playoff game. It's possible that they could be in contention to be hosting a playoff game in the playoffs. Because if Pittsburgh's going to keep falling like they are, and Baltimore's going to keep rising and they keep winning, everybody's saying that Baltimore can get to 12 wins, which is absolutely insane if you think about it. If they get to 12 wins, I think that'd be 10 straight wins. Like, that'd be crazy. So, I don't know. I mean, I trust Baltimore. But they got to be better in the red zone. They ended up being better in the red zone, but you can't have this slow start against a better opponent. It's has to be better. Everybody knows Lamar has to be better. That offensive line, God knows it has to be better because that offensive line is oh my God. Go look at some other Baltimore Ravens creators, and the first thing they'll talk about is how terrible Baltimore's offensive line is. So not perfect game. Most complete game by Baltimore Ravens this year. And so let's get back to the comeback kids. Caleb Williams, 20 for 36, 220 yards, touchdown, and a rush TD. I think we're going to have to come to terms that Jackson Dart is good. Jackson Dart is pretty good. I thought he was going to be terrible. Pretty good because when they was playing, they were up, 20 to
What's going on,
12
guys? So,
like
future keys here. So, when we talked about the New York Giants part of this video, I want to jump in and talk about Dayball being fired because when I was recording, I didn't know Dayball was fired until I did some more research to make sure I didn't forget anything. Basically, if they wanted to fire Dayball, I think they should have fired him either last season or at the end of this season. Because as much as I wanted Dayball fired and as much as I think he wasn't the best coach for them, they were playing well. They just got ravaged by injuries. Like, I think the firing was justified, but to fire him now and not last year seems pretty weird to me. Like, you let him choose the quarterback, you let him choose all the meals and everything, and then you fire him 2 months into this season when you might as well have just fired him before the season and had your better coach. So, I don't know. I just thought that was stupid. I think just this season particularly, I think Dayball got a raw deal. But he was going to be fired eventually. I just wish it would happen earlier or after the season. Because it ain't like they're going nowhere anyway now. So, my point still remains that I think Jackson Dart and the boys would have won this game if Dart didn't go down with a concussion.
The Giants were leading when Jackson was in the game. As soon as Russ came in the game, they ended up losing the game. Now, do I think that the game would have been closer at a point? Yes, of course. The game was going to get closer inevitably. And I think Jackson Dart probably would have had to score a few more touchdowns in order to get this game out of reach. But you can tell that offense looked a lot different when Dart went out with the concussion. So, yeah, Dart is good. And also with Caleb Williams, I think we just got to realize, I'm more or less talking to myself. We have to realize that this is just Caleb Williams' play style. He going to run around. He might get a rush touchdown. He going to look all crazy. Like, I think his ceiling is not Patrick Mahomes. I think it's Josh Allen. He looks way more like Josh Allen to me than Pat. Like, I think Caleb's ceiling is Josh Allen. Because I just be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? No. Oh, yeah, great. Like, that's Josh Allen for you. So, he's proven me wrong. So, I love to hear that. I love when these players prove me wrong. So, speaking of Josh Allen, when we're going to have a conversation that Josh Allen needed Stephon Diggs. Josh Allen needed Stephon Diggs. You're not supposed to lose to Miami like you lost to Miami. You made that one great play, and that's fine. But you gotta beat Miami. You can't lose to Miami. And I haven't even looked at the numbers, but I'm almost positive that that Cook didn't rush for 100 yards in this game. I was right. So I checked, as I should have. Cook had 13 carries, 53 yards. Whenever Cook has a bad game, they lose. and it feels like they lose pretty convincingly. It's okay to say that a guy needs help, but when it's that big of a difference between if you win and you lose, just based off if Cook rushes well, it's like, is he really the MVP? I don't think so. But I don't want to pile on Josh. But the football says that Josh Allen doesn't play well unless he has a top tier guy next to him, and that's every quarterback. But Lamar Jackson. So it's they needed Stephon more than we think they did. So that's just what it is. Jacksonville loses to a CJ Stroutless Houston team when they ended up getting 26 points scored on them in the fourth. That's not a what you call it? That's not a Trevor Lawrence issue. But could you imagine? Well, no, we don't have to imagine. I'm sure it's probably happened to Lamar. It probably wasn't 26 points, but I'm sure it was something like that. Could you imagine if Lamar got 26 hung on his head top? They didn't even talk about that today in sports media, from what I saw. Like, we got to be honest about Trevor Lawrence. He's not as good as y'all thought he was going to be. Like, he's not. He's to me, just from what I'm looking, he's pretty average. So, the last game of the day, the Falcons and the Packers game will be in a separate video. Go look. It should be the last video that I posted. So the Falcons and the Colts. Michael Penix was 12 for 28, 177 yards. He fumbled on the first drive, which led to a touchdown by the Colts. They ended up missing the kick, though. This game went into overtime, and the Colts ended up pulling it out. Jonathan Taylor should be you guys' MVP. What he's doing with this team after Daniel Jones has reverted back to being Daniel Jones, like, I know we don't like giving running backs their just due, as I look up the numbers. I know we don't like giving running backs their just due. But at some point, we got to give the man his just due. Jonathan Taylor was 32 carries, 244 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Daniel Jones was 19 for 26, 255 yards, touchdown, and an interception. I think he also fumbled the ball a few times, if I'm not mistaken. Jonathan Taylor almost giving you 300 yards of all-purpose yards with 3 touchdowns. Like, the guy is doing everything for the Colts. And so I think he should be the MVP. Now, people are talking about Drake May. They always try to throw Josh in that conversation. But, like, I think JT should be the front runner for the MVP. He should be the front runner. Like, as Jalen Hurts almost throws an interception. He should be the front runner. Like, nobody else is lugging as much as he lugging. Bro had 32 carries for 244 yards, bro. That's insane. So, we got to give our running backs more love. This MVP shouldn't just be a quarterback award. And it's going to be a quarterback award. I'm sure they're going to give it to a quarterback, but this is a weird season. This is one of those seasons where you don't have to just give the best running back the Offensive Player of the Year award, which has been the non-quarterback MVP award for a decade. So, yeah, that's really all I got for you guys. It was a really slow day. As y'all can see, I'm a little under the weather. And so, if you didn't check off my Eagles and Packers review earlier this week, it'll be at the end of the link in the description. And I'll talk to you guys either Thursday or Monday. Peace.